What's going on, guys? This is Damien from the Lookout, and I'm here with Dragon Ball Super Card Game Masters Top 5 Best Decks for April. Yes, we're looking at the best decks in the current meta, one for each color, based on the results of Worlds and Nets. All of the deck lists are in the description below. But before we begin, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons. These are our $2 and up patrons, the best coffee. They keep this crazy content grind going. And guys, thanks a lot for your support. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to a patron is in the description below. And I think that's about everything. Roll the video. As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So these are our top 5 decks to play in the April meta. So one deck for each color. Deck lists are in the description below. And I think that's about it. We will probably see another top 5 decks after the ban list hits, if it hits in April. But so far, that's it. Let's go. First we have SSB Vegeta from BT27 History of Z. This is the best deck in the format by far. This deck is absurd. The playstyle is pure hyper aggro. It is hyper aggression. The deck has a ton of free plays to swarm the board each turn. So you have your Overrealms. That's a free play by sending all of the cards from your drop to warp. You have the Majin Vegeta and Goku Black, which you can play for free as well by sending 5 or 6 Saiyans from your drop to warp. You have cards that cost nothing in this deck costs more than 1 energy. You have a Goku, which is a dual attacker for 1 energy. You have your big SR, which is also 1 energy, minuses something by 20 when it's played. I'm going to show you everything in the deck. It is amazing removal with easy minusing. It's very, very difficult to have a board when you're fighting Vegeta. However, the negative is that it struggles versus tall yellow decks, like Nuova, for example. While you can minus a lot, you can't minus a lot if your opponent has tall cards. This is like 25k, 30k plus. So yeah, those are very hard to get rid of, and specifically yellow, because yellow has a flying Nimbus that can just shut off your entire turn, so you do have to keep that in mind. Okay guys, so let's start with the Vegeta. This is the list from the World Championship, 5th place. So let's take a look at what these Vegeta decks look like. You are running 4 copies of the Gohan. This is Gohan from BT14. When you combo with a skillless card, draw 1. That's what you do with the Vegeta. His activate mains allows you to do that for free. So it's just an additional draw engine. You are running your archetype, you're running your Gokus at 4 copies, you're running your Beast Gohans at 3 copies. Beast Gohan is amazing, allows you to combo with cards which are in rest mode in the battle area. You're usually going for at least a couple of archetype cards, which is this Goku. This Goku is absurd. It solves a lot of problems with some blockers and with Indestructible, for example, because Indestructible doesn't work with minusing. So you can just minus your opponent's Amasus, minus their Garlics. There are ways to just go around these big blockers and big threats that you would not be able to deal with otherwise. You have your free plays here in the form of Goku Black and the Vegeta. Goku Black is Sand Destruction, Vegeta is just a big 25k body. The deck does run a lot of cards which aren't from the archetype and which can get a bit pricey. As you can see, price mark here at $450. That is including, well, that usually counts the highest possible rarity versions and stuff like that. But if you want to go with this deck, you will have to run your promos, your expensive ones. Goku and Vegeta, this one is like $25, $21 a piece. They're amazing. It's a 20k free beater over round 4, draws you a card, charges the energy. insanely strong card. You also need to run your Defeating the Demons as well. For SCR, usually you go with Evil Saiyan, because Evil Saiyan can be played from the warp, so even if you accidentally mill it with your leader, you will still be able to play it. You have your 4 copies of SS Cumber, because this is your barrier removal. Those aren't very often in red, so that's why you're running the black engine as well. You need to pay black to play it. The way you get black is of course with the Broly. Broly is a red energy charge but also counts as black, so it's basically a dual colored energy. You have your explosive dances for defense, and that's basically it. You can find the link in the description below. Just gonna go quickly over the Z deck here, and finally the side deck, though the side deck, of course, it's, you know, it's yours to build. It depends on the meta and everything else. This is just an example. You'll be able to find the link in the description below. Now we have the Big Iron Broly BT27. Again, you can get the entirety of this deck in BT27 if you want to be archetype heavy. So History of Z. This one is amazing. This one is amazing. It is value and control. And it's a very weird form of control. If you're someone who somehow stumbled here from Fusion World and you want to play a Masters deck at the upcoming 2-day regionals, this is the deck that you should play. Because this deck plays the most like Fusion World. What do I mean by this? Broly's ability says that the first time you use energy, if you spend all of your energy immediately, so if you're on free, you're playing a free cost, you're tapping out, you get to cheat a card which costs as much as the energy you have or less from your hand for free, draw a card, and Broly gets plus 10k power until the start of your next turn. It becomes 25k baseline later. So similar as in Fusion World, you don't really rely a lot. You don't have negates in Fusion World. So this is similar here. But you're just spending all of your energy to get upfront value. That's what Broly does. Non-red decks will struggle to hit you. And so the idea is, because you're 25k, you are very, very difficult for a lot of decks to hit unless they go tall. The problem with red is that red will just minus your entire field, and then it will start hitting you and comboing a lot, because now Beast Gohan allows red to combo with cards in rest mode. So that's the issue here. Playing versus red is an absolute nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare to play versus red. Other than that, you're golden, just go crazy. Now we have the Broly. We also have a how to play guide for the Broly. Link is in the description below. So this is the deck that usually looks to tap out fully. It's very control-ish. It has a lot of ways to cheat in cards to keep your opponent locked. It has a colossal leader. So what do you have here? This is Ivan Serrano's 7th place World Championship list, running a lot of engine cards, but also a lot of older cards as well. So usually you're looking at the core of a deck with this Garlic Turtles Meta Cooler, only 2 copies of Broly Vigor. Usually you run a bit more, but this was for tailored meta. You have your Bojacks, you have your Hirudegarns here, you have your Janembas. These are all from BT27. You can find all of them there. But then you start looking at the rest, right? You need to run 3 copies of Vegeta. This one helps you in some more aggressive matchups, particularly also in the red matchup, depending on which deck you're playing against, because it's a counterplay that says that your opponent's card is now played in rest mode, and that takes care of attackers which are like dual attack minus something, or on attack minus something. That's a way to get rid of your garlic. So you usually keep this Vegeta as a free counter, and then you just slap it when your opponent is trying to play a card that negates on swing to keep your garlic alive. You also run 3 copies of Released from Evil. It's another free negate, just negate skills of a card, and it can be switched to active mode until the start of your next turn. So that's a big one. If your opponent swings into it accidentally, it can get pretty bad for them. Then the idea is you want to always tap out, right? So you can double tap here. You have this Belmont Manipulation, just pops a barrier card, critical dual attacker for free energy. Free energy is insane. Free energy is a lot, but not in this deck where you can just cheat him out for free. Or you can just use him to play something else for free. Then it's good. Then it's very good. But sometimes you will not have the direct amount of energy to pay. In that case, you just have your not Z Unison, normal Unison here, Gohan Z Fighter. If you go to, let's say, 4, or for whatever reason you go to 5, and you always need to tap out immediately, you pay 3 for Gohan, and then you can pay as many more as you want. That's the X. So you can play him for 5. You can play him for 4, and then he enters with that amount of markers. He ensures that you still tap out on your first play. Plus buffs your leader, plus it's a triple attacker. You have your Vegeta here. Vegeta helps you against decks which go big very, very fast. They go tall because Vegeta prevents your opponents from attacking with cards, with battle cards that cost more than their current energy. It's a great way of keeping them locked. Then you have your Z deck here with Rocket. Rocket is one of the best floodgates in the game. You put a card from your Z deck under it, and then your opponent cannot attack. They can't attack or switch cards to active mode which share the skills of that card. So basically you say Rocket, and you say, for example, this Gogeta, deflect unique double strike barrier. So anything your opponent has or plays that has either one or more of deflect, unique, double strike, or barrier, it can't attack. You just floodgated them instantly. That's insane. And then of course you have the side deck. We will be talking more about building side decks in the future. Blue is, well, the worst color in the game at the moment, but it has a strong representative in Blue Bojack. Blue Bojack has been pulling a lot of results. The playstyle is defensive combo spam. You awaken at very high lives, you ramp very early on in the game, and then you just stay at high lives, and you can use your leader's ability to combo Bojack Brigade cards, that's the trait, from your energy, and just use them from energy in a combo, and then ramp the top card of your deck into your energy in rest mode. And a lot of these have abilities which trigger when you combo with them. You either get rid of a card or you draw a card. You always have some sort of an effect going on. So you're really, really hard to kill. Bojack is very, very hard to kill unless you just run over him very fast, very early on in the game. The leader can just become huge, and he can switch gears from defense to offense very easily now with the newest SR, with the boss monster. Bojack can catch you off guard. The Bojack will survive a long time, and then he will catch you off guard and then just beat you. If you make a small mistake, this deck can switch gears rapid fast. However, the downside is that it's blue, and blue is the worst color in the game. So regardless of everything that you will get by playing Bojack, you will still struggle. Okay, Bojack. So Bojack is an old leader. If you're someone who's just getting into the game, you won't be able to find most of these cards. You'll have to buy them as singles, so you won't be able to open them. You will be able to find them though, just not open. So you have new support here with 4 copies of the SR Bojack and 4 copies of Bujin. Those are from BT27, but the basic idea here is you awaken at high lives. Once you have a 4-cost Unison, you have your Z Unison here, the Dabura, or you're running the Boo. So, and once you do that, you are comboing cards from your energy to keep yourself defended and to get extra benefits. Bojack, for example, restands 4 energies, but you cannot use counterstand. So basically you have cards like, for example, Bojack the Evildoer. Dual Attacker 20k, auto for 2 energy. At the end of the battle in which this card was used in a combo from your hand or energy, you may play this card from your drop, and then when it's played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards and you bottom deck them. Your Bojack allows you to combo, basically. It says activate battle. Once per turn, you use one of your Bojack's cards, mono blue Bojack Brigade card, in your energy in a combo, and when you do that, you place the top card of your deck into your energy in rest mode. So you have that, for example. You have the Zangya. When this card is used in a combo from battle area or energy, draw one. So for free, you combo with her, you gain plus 5k, you draw a card, you charge a new card into the energy. And that's basically how Bojack works. And then you just have a bunch of pieces that help you stay alive, like Trunks Heroic Prospect. You have your D magics here. This is the staple standard negate. You have 4 copies of Defending Friends to keep your opponent floodgated, and then you try to go into high energies and then finish with cards such as Oob. Oob removes, Oob costs like 2 energy and removes your opponent's field at least 3 cards, and if you manage to get to 7, you play Turning the Tide and you win. Otherwise, you combine the newest Bojack with the big boss monster, just a double strike dual attacker 30k, which also punishes your opponent heavily when he is in rest mode. And from the Z deck, you always open up with Zangya as fast as you can. It's on your turn too. It's a 2 cost, 1 Z energy. It just places 1 blue Bojack Brigade card from your energy. You place 1 blue Bojack from your hand into your energy. Bojack Brigade. So it's a ramp piece. It's a permanent ramp. And then you have your unisons as well. And finally, the Z deck. The Z deck and the side deck. Last but not the least, for black, I have SSG Trunks. Now, black is the weird black sheep, no pun intended, of the list. It just lost one of its strongest pieces, which took away a couple of decks, and now it's kind of floating. SSG Trunks is my pick. It's a mid-range deck. It is very, very consistent if you don't get screwed by RNG in the first 2 turns. It basically sends cards into the warp, it plays them from the warp, and you can just switch from defense to offense very, very fast. You awaken at high lives. You have combo plays which allow you to swing like 4+ times in a turn, where you can just chain boss monsters from the warp. You have access to the best counterplay in the game. Like I've said, you don't go down in lives when you awaken, which is amazing. Your draw engine is really, really strong. You have a big boss monster. It's just mid-range and a lot of value. Like, that's what Trunks does. He does basically everything. A bit of everything. He can go a longer game. He can go aggressive. You can draw a ton of cards, you can stall sometimes, you have a floodgate, which is not something that black often has. So yeah, it's a very, very good pick. It can struggle though sometimes with defense, like your floodgate needs to land, you can accidentally warp it, that can be sometimes a bit of a hey, but look, the problem is what black always has, and that is defense. Despite all that I have said, you have your generic pieces, but you still fall behind when it comes to other colors. So if you face an aggro deck, it will probably run over you. And some decks can win in long game. If you face, for example, Big Iron Broly, which was here earlier in the list, he will likely beat you. If he assembles Garlics and you don't see your SS4 Gojitas from the side deck, he will beat you because you cannot do anything to him. Indestructible is your biggest enemy. You just can't go around Indestructible, especially if it's paired with Blocker. And finally, 15th place. This is Maxwell's SSG Trunks. So yeah, this deck is very, very cool. You're playing a lot of cards from your warp area. You can gain a lot of chain attackers. So to awaken, you need to have 5 Saiyans in the warp. So you're basically, with your activate main, you send one from hand to the warp. So you send like this Gohan, or you send the Goten. Both of them are then played for 1 energy from the warp, and when they're played, you send top 3 of your deck into the warp. That's how you get your 5 Saiyans in there. You usually run all Saiyans, as you can see here, so you miss only if you hit one of the Kais, if you hit your Unison, or if you hit one of the extra cards. Otherwise, you're good. You're golden. The big thing is basically this chain. You have to run 4 copies of these trunks. It's a consistency piece. You can remove him from your warp, and then you send 3 cards from the top of your deck into your warp. This is in case that you have bricked. It helps you out. And the next time you want to play your boss monster, it costs 1 energy. This is the boss monster. You play him for 2, but now you play him for 1. It's a 20k dual attacker. You play him from the warp. When he attacks, you send up to 3 black battle cards from warp to drop. This fuels your overwhelm abilities. Then if you need to finish your opponent, you also have this dude. So triple strike barrier for 1 energy. You do have to have a Unison in play to spirit boost. And basically, when it attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and send it to the warp. So that is the chain. You go with this guy's ability to set up your dual attacker. You swing with your dual attacker twice. You send 6 cards into your warp. Then you can go with this guy again with Overwhelm 6. You draw 2, send 1 of cards from your hand to the warp. Or you can just overwhelm something else. Let's say you can go with Goku and Vegeta. You can go with the counter if you just want to get rid of something. And then basically you after that go into the ceiling power 1 after you've attacked twice. It's triple striker barrier. You just swing at your opponent, you remove something. Keep in mind, if you have free energy, what you can actually do is you can use this guy once to make this guy a 1 cost, but the activate main is not once per turn. So if you have another one of these in your warp, you can pay 2 and play that one as well. That way you are immediately getting 4 attacks and you're getting like +1 from this one. Or at least if you don't have this one, you're getting 4 attacks and maybe you overwhelm into something. Evil Saiyan, the only black SCR worth playing. And then you have your bunch of negates here and extras. When it comes to the Z deck, you are running your Z leader. You don't necessarily always go into it because it does require that you're at 3 lives or less. You awaken at very high lives. Chile, this is always and forever your turn to play because it helps you with consistency to get your Saiyans into the drop. It also establishes turns on online always your counterplay on turn 2. Just always have it. And you have your Z extra to get out of attacks. You have your Demigra for double overwhelm and so. So yeah, and this is the side deck. So yeah, those were the deck lists. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below which deck will you be playing. Have you decided to pick any of these decks or are you playing something else? Let me know in the comments. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love a little community. And while you're here, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Help us get to 6k subs when I'm gonna give away a booster box. This has been Damien from the Lookout and I'll see all of you in the next video.